Okay, let's start. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my session. My name is Masashi Katsumata. I'm a Google developer expert for Google Maps in Japan. Today, I'd like to talk to you about how to create your own Google Street View with Google Maps API version 3. How many of you are familiar with HTML5? No. Okay. And how many of you are familiar with Google Maps API? I see. Okay. Okay.
Google Map API.
Yeah, Google Map API. Hi.
Sorry for the interruption.
Let's look at a simple demo. As you can see, this is a Starbucks. We can rotate the view 360 degrees in any direction like this. Of course, zoom in, zoom out, and move to another vantage point like this. Okay. I have divided my agenda for today into 5 sections. In the first section, I'll describe how to take photos to create a 360 degrees panorama. In the second section, I will create a panorama. I will introduce a Stitcher software, and I will show you how to use this to create a panoramic photograph. I will touch on some important points. In the third section, I will discuss the programming code necessary to create a street view, and I will show you a simple street view code for a single position. In the fourth section, I will describe how to add other points and connect them. Then, in the last section, I will explain how to connect with Google Street View. Before going to the first section, I apologize. English is not my first language, so maybe you hear something strange in English. So please enjoy my poor English. Okay, let's move on to the first section. Google takes their street view pictures using their own special cameras. I don't know how much this one, but I heard it's so expensive. Unless we are Google employees, maybe we can't buy a fancy camera like this. So today I will introduce another way using a Fisheye lens. I recommend you use a Fisheye lens because a Fisheye lens enables you to take wide-angle pictures like this. If you don't use a wide-angle Fisheye lens, you will have to take over 40 photos from one position to create one panorama. If you use a Fisheye lens, you only need to take between 7 to 14 photos.
How many photos?
7 to 14 photos.
7 to 14.
Yes, yes, yes.
Instead of 40.
Yes. So this is attachmentable Fisheye lens. You can buy on the internet, just $20.
And you attach that to your own camera?
Yeah, on camera or iPhone, Android, something.
iPhone?
Yeah.
Works on any phone?
Yeah, any phone. Like this.
So one picture to
Yeah.
cover the whole room?
Yeah, about 180 degrees. It's cheaper. No.
And so you just Google fisheye attachment or something? What do you call that thing?
Fisheye lens.
Fisheye lens for that for phone.
Okay. When you use a fisheye lens, it is important to take all angles from the same standing point. Take photos capturing all views while turning in the circle. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can we practice
Six.
this with this room? Go
This
ahead.
one? Yeah. All right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, sorry. 5.
We all become like fish. Not to worry, just kidding.
7, 8, and sometimes top and bottom. One more time. One, top and bottom, like that. So I take 10 photos this time. Okay. Each photos must overlap from the previous one by 20 to 30%. Overlap is very important in order to accurately stitch the photos together. So as I mentioned, I normally take between 7 to 14 photos with my fisheye lens, this one. Let me take a moment to introduce you to a couple of options that are available for possible use. One is the software called Photosynth. It enables you to create a panorama using your iPhone. So it's a free software, and you can get it from the Apple Store. If you use this, you don't need to buy a fisheye lens because Photosynth make panorama. It's automatically. It's a free software.
Did you say we don't need the fish lens with that?
Yes.
We don't need it.
Yes.
We need
No.
it or we?
No. Yeah.
Yes, you don't need it.
Yes, you don't need. Japanese to English and different. Yes and no. I always confuse. Yes, you don't know. Yeah, that's it. Another one is Gigaban. Gigaban is an automatic robotical machine that holds your camera. So put it on your camera on this. This machine will take 360-degree photos in just one click. Just one click here. You can buy this on the internet. $400.
Yep, that after the sound.
Okay. Are there any questions at this point?
No.
No. Okay. Let's move on to the second stage. After you take the photos, you need to stitch them together. One commonly used software to perform this process is PTGUI or PTGUI. PTGUI works on Windows and Mac OS with the same graphic user interface. It's very simple but powerful. I'll show you how to use this.
And this is free application?
Actually, no. But you can use this as trial version.
Oh, trial version.
Okay. The first step is load images. So click. So select photos. If you get this dialog, just click close button. You need to select lens type from this pull-down menu. I took the photos with my circular fisheye lens, that one. So I select circular fisheye lens. Then open up the crop tab. Two photos taken by a fisheye lens are bent, especially on the outer edge. Here. And sometimes it takes my foot. So, to eliminate these bent edges, we can adjust the photos with a cropping circle like this. And you can drag. That's good. So you don't need to adjust the cropping circle for each photo because PT GUI applies the cropping circle for all loaded photos automatically. If you want to adjust for individual photos, you can check this checkbox. Then adjust it like this. Go back to Project Assistant tab, then click the number 2 align images. PT GUI will stitch the photos together and the panorama editor window will appear like this. In the panorama editor window, go to Panorama Editor menu and More. PT GUI displays 3 edit modes. 1. Edit individual images. 2. Edit entire panorama. And 3. Set center point. In Edit individual images mode, you can leave out extra photos from the context menu. Oh, that's video recording for myself. So context menu will appear when you right click on your mouse. Then select the exclude from panorama. Okay. Like this. Ooh. Just a minute.
You said this is available for both Windows and Mac.
Hmm?
This is available for both Windows operating and for Macintosh.
Yes. In Edit Entire Panorama mode, this one, you can drag the panorama to adjust the center position. and set center point mode enable you to set the center of the panorama in just one click, like this. You can adjust the horizon from this in just one click, this button, like this. It's easy. For today's demo, I recommend the center position of the panorama be set to true north. The center position is important to show the panorama in street view. You can adjust the center position in programming code, but if you set the center position as true north now in this edit mode, you don't need to adjust it later. In this photo, the true north is in front of the Starbucks, around here, like this. Okay, go back to slide. I will talk to you about two important points for Google Street View. The first important point is to set the panorama type as equirectangular type. Equirectangular is one type of projection. Since Google Maps API uses this type of projection, we must select this type. Okay. You are able to select from this menu panorama editor mode projection. Panorama editor projection equirectangle. If you select other type, you can enjoy a little like this. But for Google Street View, we are select equirectangular type. The other important point is to set the ratio of the panorama as 2 to 1. 2 to 1. In the panorama editor, so please drag the horizontal slider all the way to the right, and the vertical slider all the way to the bottom, like this. Then close the panorama editor and select the tab, create a panorama tab, this one. You can set the entire size of the panorama for this. For today's demo, I set the size to 2048 by 1024. 48 by 1024. Then click the Create Panorama button. Okay. PT GUI stitch and create a panorama picture. Okay. You can see the panorama from this button. So view in default viewer for JPEG files, like this. After generating the panorama, we need to slice it into tiles. Tiles means the sliced images you now see displayed. The size of tile is 256 by 256 pixel, which is the best choice for Google Maps API, I think. Pixie?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Because Google Maps API uses this size as map tiles. For today's demo, I created a simple program to create the tiles. You can access to the program from this URL. Actually, I will publish my slide in the lab on the internet. So, okay, select the image file that I created before. Desktop, Socal, Starbucks, part 1. Where I created. Open the parking tiles source. Oh, okay. Here. After that, program returns a zip file with this URL. You can download from here. Open the zip files. So the image is divided into tiles like this.
Looks like it's zero base.
Yes, zero base. Okay, are there any questions at this point?
So if we were to have that special camera, Gigapen, do
Gigapen?
we need to skip all these features and all that?
No. Gigapan is just automatic robotical camera folder.
Just takes pictures, we
Yes.
still have to stitch it
Yes,
and
yes.
you know.
But if you use a photosynth, you don't need to stitch because photosynth stitch automatically. But you have to set the ratio as 2:1. Yes.
There's another program I found that's I've used before. It's called Hugin, Hugin, SourceForge.net.
Yes.
Stitches also.
Yeah, it's a
It's free.
Yes.
Yeah. I like it. It's
Mhm.
pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay. In this section, I will talk to you about coding with Google Maps API. So I will show you a simple street view for one position, for this position. Like this. We can't move it yet. I divided the third section into 6 steps. We will learn about how to build the street view code following these steps. Okay? I will pass up the handouts for the code for this section.
Front page.
Yes. Front page.
Is this gonna be in your slide, so your online document, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Step 1 is an HTML file structure. If you are familiar with Google Maps API, there is nothing special about this code. But today is no familiar with people. If you are not, there are only two special things you need to know. One thing is you need to load Google Maps API library with the script tag here. The second thing is the div tag with the ID attribute named Street View Canvas here. Street View will display into this div tag. Step 2 is the code for creating a Street View object from Street View Panorama class. Here. In step 3, we will register Street View provider function with the register panel provider method. This one. Register panel provider method is the method of Street View Panorama class. For this method, we just specify a function like this. Okay, we are still in step 3 of section 3. What is the Street View provider function? This function will be invoked when Google Street View is displayed. The provider should return the data of the position where the panorama was taken based on the panorama ID. So we just call pan ID.
What's a panel ID? Is that
Oh, I will mention next slide. Panel ID is a unique identifier of the position. You choose and define the name of the position, such as entrance, parking, internal hall.
Well, but how are those unique?
Mm,
Those aren't unique.
unique because only you can only affect the panorama ID for your code.
So it's just within your own internal.
Yes,
view.
yes.
So this isn't uploaded to Google's mapping system, it's all local on your own computer then, when you're doing this?
No, we can't upload to Google server.
I see.
So today's the way I explain is the files upload to on your server.
I see.
So it's what you're doing within your own site.
Yes.
your own server.
The Street View provider function should return the data which is subject to Street View panorama data object. Street View panorama data has these properties like this. Oh, we have a section.
Thank you.
You're welcome. These are required properties except the image depth property. an example of Street View Panorama Data object. In the tiles property, I specify to center heading property as 0. If you remember, when I created the panorama, I set the center position as true north. That's why I specify 0. But you can adjust the degree of the center position if you need to. Okay. You may also I specify the function. Actually, this is function as get tile URL property. The function I specified as get tile URL property has to return URLs of each tile images on your server. So this completes step 6. In order to show the panorama as street view, you specify a panorama ID with set panorama method like this code. So now the code works like this.
Knows we're in, by our definition, it is the parking lot.
Excuse me?
By our definition now, this is the parking.
Yes. Okay. Are there any questions? Okay. Alright.
So you don't need to sort of say what the lat and long is for this place, or latitude and longitude of your point, the Google? We don't need any of those as a parameter. I thought all map points need a lat and long starting point.
In this code, I specify here.
Oh.
Location in location property, not LNG property. And we are specify panel ID as parking. And description, Starbucks parking. This string will appear Starbucks parking, like here. So tile size is 256 by 256, and the whole size of panorama 200
2000.
2048 by 10,024.
So is the lat and long where you took the picture, where it is, or is that the actual, the build, where's the lat and long?
This latitude longitude is
The place we took the picture?
yes.
How do you get this data?
Okay. You can get the latitude longitude from Google Maps. Okay. Maps. Go to Google Maps, and I live in Torrance. Okay. Starbucks. Here. So okay, Starbucks. We create. I created, but we cannot move into Starbucks. Okay.
You see the latitude and longitude of this point.
Okay. So, okay, go click find the maps labels link. Then enable lat LNG marker.
I have one more question.
Just say
Here you specified in the location that true longitude, right, as a parameter.
yes,
I want to specify the address.
yes.
What is the method you are going to use to specify the address?
No, we cannot specify address. Only
By latitude and
that's
longitude only.
longitude.
So by the address, is there any method I can ask so that I can, the
Okay.
address is critical, right?
So question is how to get latitude or longitude from address. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So please view link simple geo coding. So Google provides an example for reverse geocoding. Okay, this address is Google Mountain View's head office address. So go. That's it. Yes.
Is there a way of referencing that point to not only latitude and longitude, but also altitude? How high, if you're
Altitude,
building?
no, we can. This program,
No,
no.
I see.
But Google Maps API provides an elevation API that enable you to get the altitude.
Oh, I see,
Maybe in a multi-story building, they want to do each floor.
exactly.
That was a good question. I was on a mountain. I posted up a post with my location. It pointed all the way down to a city instead of on top of a mountain. Google Map. It's totally off. When you're along 7,000 feet high, it was totally pointing to the valley instead of the mountain.
Future enhancement.
Yeah, maybe 3D.
So you can check
There's
the
elevation.
elevation API.
They have it, no?
Okay. Oh, latitude longitude marker is like this. Drop the latitude marker. Then get the latitude longitude like this.
Is that you in there?
Hmm?
Is that you, your account, your picture on the top corner?
Ah, yeah, that's mine.
There, go.
Thank you. You mean this one?
Yeah. You?
Yes. Okay.
Your account, you
Thank you. Okay, are there any questions?
So why do you want to take a picture of Starbucks?
Well, because you got the street view, but you didn't really get the parking lot or the internal of the store. Like, yeah, maybe you're the local Starbucks, and you get, okay, here's what my parking lot looks
Something
like.
special.
Here's what the interior of my store looks like. And you're able to add that onto your own website.
Your own website?
Anything?
It can only be added to your website, not to the Google Map?
Not to Google Map.
Not to Google Map.
Is there any means to submit it? Is there a means to submit it to Google?
No.
No. Too many requests otherwise.
PC around the wallet.
Okay.
I know Google went down my street and took pictures every, I don't know, 20 feet or something like that.
But yeah, but that's just from the street. Now,
Well, that's all there is.
Well, but here now is from the parking lot, and you have the other ones inside the store.
Yeah. Okay.
What would this be, what's the benefit of using this in real life when you?
Oh, real estate, you wanna sell,
Yeah.
you wanna sell a building.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
you wanna show, okay, here's what the first floor looks like, here's
location,
what the third
exactly,
floor
real
looks like.
estate. You can build your real estate
Yeah.
site.
And we design software for police departments.
Uh-huh.
It could be used for, sort of, seeing things, like what if, the dispatchers, to see what does it look like inside that building. Because maybe there's officers in that building trying to get in, or, look around.
This is a hacker.
So it's
That's a communication house. So
There's a word for it, I forget now what it means, but it's for the dispatchers of the police department, or officers. You can see where they're going, by these maps.
Okay.
Very neat.
Maybe it's a good idea to build a
Yeah,
system
there-
for,
yeah,
for
there-
everybody to
This is-
upload
inside?
that.
Inside, yeah,
And an
inside the
overview
house.
on their location.
Inside the, yeah,
this
But
photo
you
is
have to,
taken by
by
I
iPad.
don't know how to motivate people. to do
you take
Yes.
that. Yep, you're right.
the panorama view.
If we install a camera, could we have something like this real time?
No, because Google Maps API, you can just specify an image file.
So there's no other tools that we'd be able to see it real time?
So if we want to do that, so
Maybe put a link into your website.
Which can stream the video.
So we can organize.
But not with the Google tools.
You could put a video? as
Not
well
in
on
this
the
one.
map?
The website.
Or on the website?
This is on the website. We have it. Like you see the weather online. If it is raining outside, you can see the website that it's raining on.
Yeah, there we go. Because like for an airport or something.
Yeah. Recently, so many university in US, also Japan or other countries, takes Google takes street view inside the university. Maybe USC also. I don't know. Okay.
You have anything?
Huh?
You have anything to show or only do?
Only Google provides street view, huh?
Yes, on Google Store.
They do
I
this, they do that,
don't try it.
but not a lot of cities, they don't have.
No, the Apple has but it's
We cannot move
Apple also
into.
has
Oh, but you're not able to enter.
yeah 3D view.
Oh no.
So here is now where USC would be able to use this
Yeah.
to be able to map their internal campus.
Okay. Are there any questions? Okay, let's move on to section 4. In the section 3, I created a single street view, but we don't have any other vantage point yet. So now in the section 4, I will talk to you about setting other vantage points. So I will hand out the code for this particular section. Could you pass it, please?
We could set up, and up this in some region, from the outside area. So you have, you got the direction to get you there. and you see all these internal stuff.
So you only need now I speak and all the days, that's all you need.
I don't know why you guys are asking for.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, this is a demo for section 4. You can move to another vantage point like this. So we will add other points to set the previous pre-created code. I already created the parking position of this place. So I will show you how to add other points.
So the first one you created was the parking one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first one was the parking
Yes,
one,
yes,
and
yes.
then now we're gonna create the other two,
Yes.
and then we're gonna only give now.
In order to separate the data and code, I define the location data into one object. Location variable. So please compare the previous code I created before, I passed before, and now section 4's code. Okay. To create a shorter code, the common properties of Street View Panorama data are commonly defined here. At this point, I only define links, copyright, files, no location provided. Then, in the if statement is here, I will add other properties for Street View Panorama data. So if statement evaluate panorama ID for this demo, entrance, parking, internal form. And I will add property, location property for this ST panorama data object. To connect other positions, the provider should return an array of Street View link object as link property of Street View panorama data. So link property is here. Street View link object will appear as an arrow on the Street View. Each Street View link object has these properties: description, count, and heading. Okay. In this demo, description is Starbucks, heading is arrow. In this code, the heading property, I set the degree from the parking to entrance. I calculated the degree and pitch I use here, 70 degrees. We will add the code into the if statement. Here, I use switch statement in this case. But how do we know the heading of the arrows? Google Maps API provides a library in order to calculate geometric functions. To use the library, insert ampersand libraries equal geometry into the div tag. Into the split tag, which I load of Google Maps API library. So you need to insert here this string into this script tag. then you can calculate the heading with compute heading method, like this example. So the code of provider would be like this. So please check your on the paper. So code works like this. We already see. So do you have any questions?
When you specify the tile parameters at the beginning, do we have to put it in certain order, or is that, it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
And normal view of the there's all that good stuff. The green. 35 degrees.
70 degrees.
I seem to be able to do this fast.
Calculate
Would have had to be mapped.
down here.
So if you got right.
You calculate.
Yeah.
This is the one. Computer heading from
computer.
But that may be where you can maybe step, maybe to your develop, how to develop it, yeah. You could do this yourself
Oh, yeah.
until Google gets around to it.
Make it better than Google.
Sorry.
Our SEO is better than Google.
Where did you get 17 degrees?
Yeah, where is the 17, so that's,
70 degrees. In this code,
Because we
I
are.
calculate with this.
well, somebody put it together,
So
I
to
think.
explain
If you have the valuable pictures like panorama, you can take it and then you can post it on your website so that many people wants to see.
Yeah. So they use Google to get to your location, but then did find more information out about your location.
Which they don't have. They can
No,
take it
no,
from
You have a link, Google, okay, here's my place. Click on it, now you get into this.
This is a street view link also. So different also in this one. So the description and panel property.
For city, we have city traffic.
If you take all the traffic, will they shut you down?
I added heading property. I mentioned 70 degrees.
Yeah, so you're just doing it at one time.
So
The traffic.
to calculate all,
You won't see here.
to specify all
It's just a joke. You're taking Google's
I
traffic away.
use this one.
Well, you have to use Google to get to the location. But then from that,
Will the API how they would still display ads on your map,
Yeah.
on
Yes.
your site?
you got your ad location in the,
That's very good.
I understand what you're doing.
it's in the street view.
Function of Google that's
Get up to your computer. That was at
from
City Hall,
to
City Hall.
that logs.
Yes.
This is the city webpage, so they show me, hiking trails.
Computation.
Well, then you can start walking along the trail.
Yeah, I could see, very useful, I go hiking, so we need to map back on the hiking trail.
For you,
It's really hard to
yes.
find them.
But that, from my city of reasonably flat elevation, yeah, like the mountains are hill.
Inside panorama.
Yeah.
You do specify that. Okay. I specify here. So panel ID will be parking entrance internal. Then this is a tile file.
I work for the city for.
When you move to
I'm not a webmaster by any means, but
entrance,
yeah, it's something I'm saying about.
You manage.
so this function will be invoked.
You manage out of.
Entrance. Entrance. Then this function will
You
be
get the funding from the lawyer, the mayor, and
return.
City manager.
Okay.
Just trying to convince the city manager to get us back on webmaster.
Where is that image?
But
Oh.
they never- more money.
here.
With the money, you make the whole thing into people, you no longer need the close-up directories or something like that.
So we are reading simple street view HTML5 and tiles
Okay.
and
Inside the tiles, okay.
yeah, entrance
Okay.
file.
You have to specify the path here,
They're
the
making
path
money, right? So
of this tile slash entrance slash front. Do you specify the
Cities are not.
path of the images?
They're supposed to be revenue neutral.
but they're making money, not losing money.
This one.
Tile
Tile slash entrance entrance. Okay, so you can specify that.
Tile slash
Yeah.
Infrastructure deficiencies. There's big.
Yeah, those are really scary stuff.
Yeah.
Nowadays, let's see.
Are there any questions?
Is this
I think-
free, by the way, is this free? Do we need any key or anything?
It's free.
So, but I assume you do need, if we get, like, let's say a new housing development, which a Google car has not gone into yet,
Yeah.
that we could ourselves, and if I'm the real estate developer, I could go ahead and use this
Yeah.
to map it out myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say we buy a whole free land and we'll do it now.
Okay. The last section, I will show you how to connect with Google Street View. Google Street View uses their randomized special panorama IDs, but actually it's the same scheme I mentioned in section 3 and section 4. So we have to know where the Google taken panorama and what's the panorama ID.
So you can connect them?
Yes.
Okay.
Get panorama ID. Get panorama by location method of Street View services class enable you to get panorama ID, which is the nearest location from specified location. To use this method, you just need to specify the latitude and longitude of your location. In this case, parking latitude, longitude, and radius to seek the panorama ID. Here, 20 meters. This method will access Google server to find the nearest location. In the server find it, the function returns the data. If it doesn't, the function gets the error status code.
So if you maybe specify too small a radius, you'll get no results.
Yeah.
Specify too large a radius, you'll get too many results.
No, just one result. Yeah.
It'll give you the closest one.
Yeah, just one. So this method only returns the nearest location.
So what would be the problem with, like, instead of 20, maybe for say 100?
Because in the country, sometimes Google takes long time distance. So if I create this room's panorama, So it's far from entrance, isn't it?
Mhm.
That's why. So if so, I specify 1,000 meter. Maybe I can get the panorama ID, but it's too far. So it's not natural.
So if, like, okay, as you said, the parking is very far from this room. If I'm creating a panorama of this room, now I have to measure from this panorama view to parking, right? So how do we measure that? I mean, how do you come to know that it's 20 m? How do you know that it's 20?
This method will return only Google's panorama ID.
How do we get the ID?
Okay. This one. So get panorama location method will return the street view panorama data object. So street view panorama data object I mentioned in section 3. This one. The function returns this data. So in this data, you can get panorama ID from here, location and panorama.
So that 20 m is approximate number, 20 meter is an approximate number, or you, how do you calculate that?
No, I just specify.
You just specified.
Yeah.
That's just a search parameter.
Yeah, from the parking.
So from the longitude and latitude.
From the
of
parking
my
lot
parking
to
location.
the view, street.
So it's our input to the Google, right? We're estimating 20 meters from the street
Yeah,
to
we
where
are
it is, and
estimating,
we're
right? It's
giving
an
them.
approximate number that you are
Yeah,
giving.
approximate.
Okay, okay, that's okay.
Okay. Okay. And since Google Maps panorama by location method access the Google server, it will take a few seconds. So you need to set the panorama ID, and after the get panorama location method is successful, to display the location that is connected to Google Street View. So in this code here, so after the successful, so I comment it out here. So final call will work like this then. So we can move to load that we will text photo and move to inside like that. Okay, this concludes my demonstration. You can access to today's demo and slides, also source code by using this URL.
So all your slides are at the first one?
Yes. And Google provides the official document on this URL. Actually, kind of difficult.
All right.
It's easy when it's here.
So this source code we can find it on the second one?
Yes. You can download the zip file.
Okay.
So zip file, the zip file includes source HTML file and image files.
Image files.
You can try it later. Okay, Are there any questions?
Does this have to be a public-facing website that we could use this Google API? Could it be like internet?
Yeah.
We could use it.
Yeah. Just upload on your server.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
So you work in Japan or here?